Welcome back to Exposure Stories. Valerie Bertinelli believed she had found a lasting home at Food Network. For nearly a decade, she became one of the network's most recognizable and beloved personalities, building a reputation for warmth, authenticity, and genuine connection with viewers. While audiences saw a smiling host sharing recipes and encouraging young bakers, Bertinelli was quietly navigating some of the most difficult personal challenges of her life. Through grief, heartbreak, and major life transitions, she remained committed to her work and the audience that supported her. That commitment made the ending all the more painful when it arrived not through a respectful conversation, but through a simple text message that signaled the end of an important chapter in her career. Long before she ever stepped into a Food Network kitchen, Bertinelli had already established herself as a successful actress. Born on April 23, 1960, in Wilmington, Delaware, she spent much of her childhood moving from state to state because of her father's work with General Motors. The constant relocations exposed her to different communities and experiences, helping shape the adaptability and resilience that would later define her career. At just 15 years old, she landed the role of Barbara Cooper on the hit sitcom One Day at a Time. The role made her a household name and earned her 2 Golden Globe Awards. Over the following decades, she continued building an impressive acting resume with roles in television series including Touched by an Angel and Hot in Cleveland. By the time she entered the culinary television world, she already had a Hollywood Walk of Fame star and a career that many performers could only dream of achieving. When Bertinelli joined Food Network in 2015 with Valerie's Home Cooking, she brought something unique to the channel. The show wasn't built around flashy competition, dramatic eliminations, or exaggerated personalities. Instead, it focused on home-cooked meals, family traditions, and personal stories. Bertinelli invited viewers into her world, sharing recipes that carried emotional significance while creating an atmosphere that felt genuine and welcoming. Audiences responded immediately. The series eventually ran for 14 seasons, a remarkable achievement in modern television. Viewers returned year after year because they trusted her and enjoyed the sense of comfort she brought to their screens. Her success expanded quickly. The same year she launched Valerie's Home Cooking, she joined Kids Baking Championship as co-host alongside Duff Goldman. The program showcased young baking talent and required a host capable of balancing competition with encouragement and kindness. Bertinelli excelled in that role. Her natural warmth and patience resonated with both contestants and viewers. She became an essential part of the show's identity, helping transform it into one of the network's most successful competition programs. Her work earned recognition throughout the industry, including multiple Daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Culinary Host. Food Network's confidence in Bertinelli was evident when the network signed her to an exclusive multi-series deal. At the time, she appeared to be one of the channel's most valuable personalities. She represented a style of programming that emphasized connection, education, and authenticity. Yet the television industry was changing rapidly. Behind the scenes, larger corporate forces were reshaping priorities across media companies. In April 2022, Discovery completed its merger with Warner Media, creating Warner Bros. Discovery. The merger was designed to strengthen the company's competitive position in an increasingly crowded entertainment landscape, but it also triggered widespread restructuring and aggressive cost-cutting measures. As leadership changed, so did programming priorities. Executives who had helped build Food Network's identity and supported personalities like Bertinelli began leaving. New decision-makers evaluated talent contracts, production costs, and future programming strategies through a different lens. Bertinelli's exclusive deal, originally signed in 2018 and later extended, came up for renewal at exactly the wrong moment. The executives who had championed her work were gone, and the new leadership had different goals for the network's future. At the same time, Food Network itself was evolving. The channel that had once focused heavily on teaching viewers how to cook had gradually shifted toward competition-based programming. Shows built around contests, eliminations, and dramatic moments often delivered strong ratings while costing less to produce than traditional instructional cooking programs. While competition shows remained popular, many longtime viewers began expressing concerns that the educational foundation of the network was disappearing. Programs that prioritized teaching and storytelling were increasingly replaced by formats centered on suspense and spectacle. Bertinelli eventually spoke publicly about this shift. In 2024, she agreed with comments suggesting that Food Network's golden era of educational cooking content had largely come to an end. For viewers who had followed Valerie's home cooking for 14 seasons, her observations felt especially significant. The cancellation of her show seemed to symbolize a broader transformation taking place across the network. What made this period even more difficult was everything Bertinelli was experiencing in her personal life. In October 2020, her former husband Eddie Van Halen passed away after a battle with cancer. Although they had divorced years earlier, they remained close and shared a deep bond through their son. His death brought profound grief and emotional complexity. At the same time, Bertinelli was navigating the collapse of her second marriage to Tom Vitale. Their separation became public in 2021, and the divorce proceedings continued throughout 2022. Later, Bertinelli would describe the relationship as toxic and speak openly about the emotional toll it had taken on her life. Despite these challenges, she continued filming. During what she later referred to as the apex year of hell, she remained a professional presence on set, hosting baking competitions with positivity and enthusiasm while carrying enormous personal burdens behind the scenes. Viewers watching those episodes had little idea of what she was enduring privately. She continued showing up, delivering the same warmth and encouragement that had become her trademark. Then came the moment that would generate headlines and widespread criticism. In early 2024, Bertinelli publicly revealed that she learned she would not be returning for another season of Kids Baking Championship through a text message relayed by a third party. There was no personal phone call, no meeting, and no direct conversation with network leadership. For someone who had spent nearly a decade helping build the network's programming, the method of communication felt deeply dismissive. While she acknowledged that budget cuts and corporate restructuring likely played major roles in the decision, the manner in which it was delivered left a lasting emotional impact. The public response was immediate. Fans flooded social media with messages of support and disappointment. Many expressed frustration not only over Bertinelli's departure but also over the network's broader programming direction. Celebrity friends and fellow entertainers publicly backed her as well. The reaction highlighted something important. Audiences had developed a genuine connection with Bertinelli. They were not simply fans of a television show. They felt connected to the person herself. That distinction helps explain why her departure resonated so strongly. Educational cooking programs create a different relationship with viewers than competition shows. While competitions often generate short-term excitement, personality-driven cooking shows build long-term loyalty. Viewers invite hosts into their homes week after week. They try recipes, listen to stories, and develop a sense of familiarity that grows over years. Bertinelli excelled at creating that connection. Her audience trusted her, and trust is one of the most valuable commodities in television. Even after leaving Food Network, Bertinelli demonstrated that her career was far from over. She announced a new cookbook, continued engaging with her audience through social media, and explored opportunities beyond traditional television. The media landscape had changed dramatically, offering creators more ways than ever to reach audiences directly. Streaming platforms, digital content, podcasts, and social media channels provided alternatives that didn't depend on a single network's programming decisions. The most significant lesson from her departure may be that audiences often follow people rather than institutions. Viewers who spent years watching Valerie's home cooking weren't necessarily loyal to Food Network itself. They were loyal to Valerie Bertinelli. The trust, affection, and credibility she built over 14 seasons belonged to her, not the network. When the professional relationship ended, that audience connection remained intact. Her story also reflects a broader trend across the entertainment industry. As corporations merge, budgets tighten, and executives prioritize efficiency, personality-driven content often finds itself competing against less expensive formats. Business decisions may make sense on spreadsheets, but they can overlook the emotional bonds that audiences form with creators over time. Bertinelli's experience became a visible example of that tension between financial strategy and viewer loyalty. Today, Valerie Bertinelli stands at a different point in her life and career. She has moved through grief, finalized a difficult divorce, embraced new personal happiness, and continued creating content for an audience that remains deeply supportive. While her Food Network chapter ended abruptly, it did not define the entirety of her story. If anything, the reaction to her departure demonstrated just how much impact she had made. The network moved on, but many viewers did not. They continued following her journey because the connection she built was real. In the end, the story is about more than a canceled show or an expired contract. It is about the value of authenticity in an industry often driven by numbers and trends. Bertinelli spent years creating television that felt personal, comforting, and sincere. Those qualities earned loyalty that survived long after the cameras stopped rolling. A text message may have ended her time at Food Network, but it could not erase the relationship she spent nearly a decade building with millions of viewers. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.